guys, it's me Rebecca. So this will be the start of another kind of weekly vlog. It's not a full week as it is Monday. Usually I start my vlogs on Sunday, so it's like a full week. But yesterday I was finishing a book and I just didn't really think it would make sense for me to start my vlog when I think 90 pages left. Decided to start a vlog when I was starting a new book, so yeah. But so far today I've just done some work and whatnot. I also filmed my May wrap-up, which was, I swear, I read like 9 books in May, as you would have seen, and it was also a bit chaotic as I was stuck in the books next to me, and the pals were pretty curious and they fell twice, so yeah, that was fun. And as you saw, I also went out to this park in my state, and yeah, the weather was quite gloomy. Now it's nice and sunny, which of course. And I have done something in a book I did start today was The Girl with 1,000 Faces by Sun Ming. And this is about when Mercy Chen washes up on the shores of Hong Kong with no family, no money, no memories. The only refuge she finds is the infamous ghost-infested slum of Kowloon, Walled City. Since then, she has rebuilt her life working for the local triad as a ghost talker and dealing with the angry and bitter spirits who haunt the district. The filthy gutters and cramped alleyways of Kowloon have become her home. But the past Mercy can't remember isn't done with her. An unusually powerful ghost has infested Kowloon's waterways, drowning innocents and threatening the district. He claims to know Mercy, and the secrets from her past are best left forgotten. As Mercy is drawn into a deadly cat-and-mouse game with this malignant spirit, she begins to realize that the monster she fights within these walls may well be of her own making. And with this, I am on page 58, and I'm definitely intrigued about it. I kind of flew off the table. Not my dear, not dropping things it seems, but we see. Okay, I should say this book is in 2 timelines. The first is 1975. We follow Mercy as she's in her 50s, kind of becoming this ghost talker for the leader of the local triad of Kowloon City. We really see the life she's built up since she washed onto shore 30 years prior. How she's gotten herself out of poverty into a more, I guess, stabilized environment. Who, with the fact she was in poverty and wasn't able to have things just to simply have them, she has become a bit of a hoarder, which I would feel is a bit, I don't know, realistic, as you're just able to have things because they're a want and not a need. So, maybe like that. And she has this ghost cat, which she brings along with her when she has to do her ghost talking business for her boss. And he's able to transform himself from like a small little kitty cat into a tiger or a much larger animal in that transition is just quite interesting to watch. And she is on a mission for her boss, figuring out what's keeping this grandma going, why this older woman is still around, still haunting this apartment complex. Turns out the woman's grandson was a greedy bastard who, as soon as she got sick, locked her in an apartment, took money and whatnot, and left her to die. So she wants revenge, and we see how she does get her revenge. And while after that, the person's friend who wasn't in the womb gets upset with Mercy, tries to attack her, and Mercy is able to tame him. But One thing I'm finding interesting is Mercy has these, I guess, intrusive thoughts that are telling. She keeps having the, I guess, words in her head that say, catch him, hold him, drag him to the water, and keep him down until his blood is salt and his eyes are food for the fishes. And that is something that's just constantly like circulating in her mind, and recently it seems like it's just gone bad to the point where even her boss is kind of worried about her more, I would say, in a business way, because Mercy's one of her best ghost talkers, and they've tried exorcists and whatnot, and nothing's been successful. So I'm curious about where that's going in. They do have to worry. The local, like, what is it? Not government, but the council, I would say, is trying to knock down Colon walled city because they do find it a bit of an eyesore, but really they want to erase the past, the physical past of what's been done to them under Japanese occupation, and how the British and the Chinese are on that side. And they also think, the local council thinks it will solve the ghost problem, as apparently it seems like it is getting worse. Something that Mercy and her boss, a woman named Koba Lily, were unaware of. So now it is Mercy's job to get to kind of understand what is going on. And something weird is that the woman who is the councilman, she recognizes Lily, which would have been impossible because Lily arrived in Hong Kong, or about, I think it was like 33 years ago, and this woman is barely 30 years old. So she wouldn't have been born when when Mercy first arrived, and as soon as Mercy's really been in Hong Kong, all she's ever known is Kowloon City, like Kowloon Walled City. Like she feels one with the city, like it's all she's ever known, and she feels safe there. Like she finds comfort, I guess, in doing what she has to do, and really knowing her neighbors and knowing the area. Like it's a place of comfort for her, and I am curious on that. Really seeing how she'll go, how far she'll go, I should say, to ensure that the place she loves, that place she's ever really remembered, is safe. And 33 years prior is the second timeline, and we see her having this washed up on the shore with the clothes on her back, a scar that she has that runs from her shoulder to her wrist, her name cut into her wrist, and this gold bracelet. And those thoughts, like the catch him, hold him, sort of thing, they've been there, but they were on the back burner of her mind, and we see how she's just trying to survive, really, like, and how she is warned not to go to Hong Kong as the Japanese have occupied her, but she still goes because she thinks, oh, the city will be safer. No. No, the Japanese treat the citizens of Hong Kong as if they're not human, as if they're not people, and it's horrifying for her, horrifying to really read about. And it seems like ghosts are just a common thing in this world. Like there are these talismans that are put upon dead bodies to prevent their ghosts from wandering about, and it seems like the Japanese is using them to prevent ghosts from getting their revenge, and ghosts are wandering around, but they seem to have all been forced into Kowloon walled cities, and it's a place barely anyone really wants to go to because of, well, all of the ghosts. And Mercy, I don't know why the name really kept popping into my mind. She is told to go there as it will probably be safe, and we see this is she enters Holland City, how she meets her ghost cat companion, who there was a proper term for what exactly he is. It seems like it's a Maupu, and apparently they are usually used to they're used to represent bad luck, but for her bad luck. So, but we see how Lily. Why do I keep saying Lily? My word. Mercy is just trying to survive. She ends up joining the resistance group against the Japanese, but they're not actually fighting more, that they're spreading information. So I am so curious on where that goes. But yeah, so far I am curious on really what exactly her past is and what happened to her that caused her to forget everything. So yeah, definitely intrigued. But I think that's all for now. So see you when I see you. So it's the next day, and I've done some work and whatnot, and I've also done some reading of The Girl with 1,000 Faces, put me on page 122, and I would have to say I am intrigued by this so far. Like, I am finding it quite interesting. We see Mercy kind of going to get help from the person who was the head of the resistance group she joined when she first arrived to Kowloon, and this person had transitioned to from male to female, and they now go by the name Erica, which I don't know, Mercy has accepted. It's like, okay, this is who you are. Okay, like I do like that. And while she and Erica are talking, they are attacked by Tyrod enforcers, and Erica is confused as this was her home, and she does pay her fees to the Tyrod on time. Mercy thinks they're after her for some reason, and one thing I do like about Mercy, one more thing I should say, is that I do like how she is an older character. Like, typically in books we really follow characters who are young, they're like in their 20s, maybe 30s. Mercy's in her mid 50s, and as well, she's not someone who's quite thin. Like, she likes to indulge, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Like, with buying stuff she doesn't need, and really, now that she's in a more comfortable position in life and not in poverty, she tries not to remember about that. And one way she also indulges is with food, and Mercy has it. She is a bit on the chubbier side, which I do also like, because it's like, we don't get the typical, oh, she's so thin, she's 20 or in her late teens, or if we're lucky, pushing on 30. Like, this is a character who's not in the best physical shape, and with her age, like, she does have to be, I guess, more careful and know her limits, because after she fights the enforcers who tried to kill her and Erica, they both are just trying to get their breath back. Like, they're so out of shape that, I don't know, I just like that. But we see Mercy, my word, why is it that every other character's name goes through my head? But she goes to investigate this councilwoman, Kit, And it turns out Kate does have land or owns a building in Kowloon, so this demolition of the wall would benefit her a lot. And when she gets to the building, which is like some open den, she kind of runs into Koba Lily, who also is there, and Mercy is just wondering like why and what is going on. And she finds another victim of this ghost that's terrorizing the city, who has left the victim in like this pool or like a bassinet sort of, not bassinet, that's not what I'm looking for, but it's like this bowl essentially. And Mercy discovers an underground tunnel where there's water, how water goes through the city, and there she also finds a whole bunch of bodies, including Cowboy Lily. Turns out this ghost has been drowning random people in bathtubs and wells and whatever, and just taking their bodies. Like, this is a ghost who is changing their faces, changing what body they're gonna wear for the occasion or for their duty. It's like, or for what they want to accomplish. It's like the ghost is changing their clothes to look a certain way, to ignite a certain feeling in people, or to get people to do what they want to do. And Mercy runs into this ghost who seems resentful, and it seems like part of the resentment is something related to Mercy. Something about Mercy's past that they feel like Mercy has wronged them, and Mercy tries to apologize, but since she can't remember, then the ghost thinks this apology is worthless. As it's this, Mercy doesn't even know what she's apologizing for, and we see how the ghost tries to get her down for the death of the councilwoman who, the ghost did kill, and how she tries to kill Mercy. And then part 2, it goes back to like, what was it, like 50 years prior, but a while ago. Oh my word, I so wish. It's like 33 years prior, so before Mercy washed up onto the shores of Hong Kong. And this perspective, it seems like we are being told Mercy's story through this goddess that was on an island that Mercy's mother's family lived on, and that a lot of the island drowned because of a horrible storm. And we just see Mercy's life, how her mother resents her because she wasn't what her mother had wanted, and because of how Mercy is like this clumsy girl who just kind of sits still, is quite like, I'm not hyper, but she just kind of sits still really. And you see how she and her mother, how they leave Hong Kong when the Japanese come and go to the island, and it seems like we will be seeing the events that led up to Mercy being on this island, and really Mercy ending up back in Hong Kong. So that is what intrigues me. Like, what is the story of Mercy? And we see, and we really learn more about the ghosts, and learning about them in a way that's like, they're not full of resentment, they're not something that's to be simply shun away. How different cultures handle the ghosts, like how the British try to hide the ghosts away, try to expel them, get rid of them, while the Chinese, like, they also try to prevent the ghosts from entering their homes, but he doesn't let the ghosts live their afterlife, I should say. Like, we have a ghost who was an owner of a store, and he takes care of this store in his afterlife, and all the people do is leave offerings so that the ghosts remain peaceful. And that's something I do like, to seeing the different ways of the ghosts, seeing how they're being treated, and it's just interesting to me. So yeah, why not? I'm definitely intrigued in seeing where the story is going. So yeah, I think that's all for now. So see you when I see you. So it's the next day, and I've done some work and whatnot, and I also had to cut the grasses. It was becoming this bit unruly, like it was a bit too tall, especially in the backyard. So yeah, and I made the mistake of really cutting it when it was about, I don't know, 10 o'clock, and it was just starting to get a bit hot, and the machine usually makes it hotter for me, so yeah, it was just a bit much, but it's done, and I don't have to worry about it until next time. But I have also done some reading of The Girl with 1,000 Faces, put me on page 192, and I'm definitely intrigued about it. We see how, oh my word, how the character whose name we do eventually get, whose name is Song Soo-in, how she's living with her parents when the Japanese invade. We see how other parts of China are being invaded, like Shanghai and Beijing, how they learn that Beijing has fallen, and how on the day that the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, they also bombed the harbor at Hong Kong, which is something I never learned about, and it's something that is noted, that it's like something that the Americans just don't know about, which I do find interesting. And you see the fear that her parents have, especially her father, whose brother had lived in Shanghai, and they hadn't seen each other in over 20 years. And we see how he has Soo-in and her mother leave Hong Kong to go to the island where her mother grew up, and where her mother only left because there was a huge typhoon that killed everyone on the island. And he said, "Oh, I'll join you," and eventually when I'm like kind of just check some boxes and sell our stuff and raise enough money, like I'll eventually join you. Yeah, I'm not gonna say what happens to him, but yeah. And we see Soo-in and her mother on the island, how they try to make a life of themselves, and we see how there are still ghosts on the island, the ghosts of those who died in the storm, and how they had rebuilt the houses on the island. And initially her mother tries to keep the ghosts at a distance, but she, being back on this island, is resurrecting memories for her, and she becomes closer to the ghosts. It's, I guess, her way of escaping of her reality, being trapped on this island with her daughter and her husband, and knowing the fate of her husband. So yeah, and we see the, I guess, relationship between Soo-in and her mother kind of deteriorate even further, how they not push each other away, but gradually drift off in opposite directions, and their problems would have only been, well, not solved, but they wouldn't be in a boat they would be in if they had at least talked. And her mother just tell her of this legend of this girl who the villagers had tried to run off the island because they thought she was cursed, that she was bad luck, and she had fallen into this cave, broke her back, and they just left her to die. what her mother failed to mention was the relations she had with this girl who happened to be her sister, Suhan's aunt. And we see while the mother is hanging out with the ghost, Suhan is going off on her own. She is told repeatedly, numerous occasions, not to go by the water, not to go swimming in the ocean. And yet she does that anyway. She cannot resist, and there she meets the sea sister, who she becomes close to, and she thinks, oh my word, there's a word, there is a proper term for what she thinks the sea sister is that I'm completely blanking on. It's like a form of a mermaid. Like, it's not the I guess romanticized version we know this woman, or this sea sister is like, she's green, she's it's the next day, and as you saw, I did go out today. A town next to mine was having a book sale, and this friend didn't film anything at the book sale, as you would have seen this. Because I didn't want to, I was planning to go for a walk, and I just really wanted it to be more focused on a walk, so. But I did get 2 books, the first being Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. And I also got Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. Can someone tell me if this is a good place to start with him? I think it is, but yeah. And I did a walk, and it was quite a hot day. Like, I was sweating in. Yeah. And I have done some reading of The Girl with 1,000 Faces, putting me on page 265, and I have to say, we see who exactly, what happens to Sue-in and her fate, and what happens with Chunmi. I don't think that's the right name, but, and how Sue-in dies, is drowned. Her mother just rows the boat away from them, and Chunmi takes over the body. I feel like I should have seen that coming from like a mile away, but I just go into books kind of blind and not really setting expectations or playing guesses, so yeah. And we see how resentful Sue-in becomes, how she takes over bodies because of the fact she is a water ghost. She has to be in water, otherwise like she'll just completely dry out unless she's occupying a body. Which is something she starts doing, and we see how she meets the goddess. She is so resentful, she is so angry, and that is something that continues on through her narrative. This the resentment she has, and she joins this Japanese kind of trying to resent like the Japanese control and occupation and get them out of the country. And she develops this friendship with this man named Ringon, and we see how she becomes the legendary girl with 1,000 because she will take the body of a Japanese soldier, infiltrate a ship, be the reason the ship drowns, and get away before anyone can notice, sort of thing. Sometimes her missions go well, sometimes there's some problems, but yeah. And we see her, like, she's just been alone for a long time, and we see how she and Ring Young just bond and how they trusted one another, and I did like that. Until he accidentally betrays her. After the war, the Christian priest, the Western priest, and the Taoists, basically the exorcists wanted to get rid of all of the ghosts, and he accidentally led them to her because they were following him, and she's locked up in this bottle for like over 20 years until the executive who wants Kowloon is taken down frees her to use her for her own benefit, but she's smart and knows that she does this, she'll be betrayed. So she betrays the council person and takes over the council person's body, and is now looking for her mom, her aunt, and Ring Young, and she is able to find Ring Young, and he is now a man in his 50s. He seems to have this kind of have a different viewpoint on life after having being alive for so long, that she doesn't really agree with, as she is a ghost and dead. And we see how she gave him some of her memories so he could track down her mother and her aunt, and he was successful in tracking down her mom. And the thing is, it seems like the mom does have some regret of what happened, that she didn't mean to go back and rescue her daughter. I don't know why I keep going off screen. That's fine. but she wasn't able to find the body, and she regrets that. And the sad thing is, Xian is just unable to have, not remorse, but she was never able to really get an understanding of her mother. Like, her mother let her down in a third place by dying before before she can properly apologize to Xion. And we see how she continues on trying to find Mercy until she's able to find her, and we see her plot. And we're back to where we began in White House, and I decided to update now when I did, because I'm on part 4 of this novel. So now we get an after Xion drowns Mercy, and I'm so curious on where this goes. And something I like this is Xion is someone who's just been let down on so many numerous occasions. She was let down by her father, who left the family. She was let down by her mother, who lied to her about what the father was gonna do and what his true fate was. How her mother just let these ghosts kind of hang around her and ignore her own daughter. How her mother couldn't really ever love her daughter because of the fact of her past, probably, and because of other factors. How she was just let down by the aunt, who she thought she could trust, who just wanted a companion, someone to understand her pain. This is a girl who's been through so much and is so angry, so resentful towards people, and the way she sees things is like, people don't understand what someone else is going through until they've been through it. It's like a man cannot understand a woman what a woman's gone through until the man's gone through that same thing. A politician cannot understand what the people, the boys they're sending to war go through until they understand, until they see it. And what she wants to do is make people see it. She wants to open people's eyes, and I do respect that. I do see where she's coming from. But it is so interesting just seeing like what she is doing and how she wants it done, and how she just wants revenge. And she gets the revenge she's been after this entire time, the revenge on her aunt. But she is now thinking that's not enough, because it wasn't just her aunt who harmed her. It was, in her eyes, the entire population of Hong Kong, those who she trusted, who betrayed her, because the ghosts were used during war. That is something that apparently happened. But the exorcists, and I guess the West, they wanted to forget about these ghosts. They just wanted to force them to move on and just treat them like as if they're not even your ancestors. Like, a lot of these ghosts were kept in a bottle for a long time, and in a bottle is so quiet, so silent. The only thing you had is your own thoughts, and sometimes that is a dangerous thing. So I am so curious in where this final bit of the book will go, and the revenge. And I am wondering if she will ever feel rested, if she will ever feel like this is enough, because I think once you're on a path of revenge, oof, that's a slippery slope, because when is your revenge satisfied, I guess? Like, when is it done? Like, is it ever done, or is there someone else you want revenge on? Like, and honestly, she's like, maybe this pain, the pain which haunts her will finally be at ease, and I don't think that's gonna be the fucking case, because she's just been hurt so often, so much, that the pain is almost like a part of her. Like, it's all she's really known for a long time. Like, maybe she didn't experience it when she was little. Maybe it wasn't so heavy when she was little, but there is still some pain in knowing that she wasn't good enough for her mom, that her mom, she thinks her mom didn't truly love her, and I'm just curious on where this goes. And I feel like now I'm rambling, so I'm gonna go, and I'll see you when I see you. So it's the next day, and as you saw, I did go out today to another park nearby. Initially, I was gonna go to another book sale in another town close to me, but which I did go, but there just wasn't really anything there for me, nothing that caught my eye. So yeah, and I took advantage of the weather and the fact it is now hot, and just walked a bit and did some of my grocery shopping and whatnot. And I have done some eating, and I did finish The Girl with 1,000 Faces just now. And I think overall I like this. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. And we see how Suin, she's hell-bent on revenge. She's still so angry, not thus at Ming-Chen or Mercy, but at the entire city, at Hong Kong, at humanity, and she just wants people to feel the pain she felt, and she has this elaborate plan of unleashing all of these ghosts that have been trapped in these bottles for decades, and dealing with the people, I guess, and tormenting the people. But Ming-Chen, she is able to stop Suin from doing this, and by saying really, it's not gonna fix things, it's not gonna end, like this rage that's in Suin will not be, I guess, quenched if she does what she does. Like, even if she gets her revenge at the people of Hong Kong, it won't be like that simple. Like, humanity will not stop. Forgive one another if we allow the cycle to continue, because the rage that Suin is dealing with, if she doesn't deal with this now, if she is able to move on and be reborn, that rage will still be in her, and the cycle will continue. And I do like that, how eventually you don't have to forgive or forget. That is your choice, but you can choose, you can make the decision to decide if you forgive. And we see how Ming-Chen, she's eventually able to move on into her afterlife, and Suin is able to, I guess, continue on in the body, and how eventually she will have to make the decision if she is able to forgive Ming-Chen once she is told the story by the goddess, and yeah, when she gets the memories, and if she is able to forgive and move on to her next life when she dies again, or if she'll be a vengeful spirit. So who knows? But yeah, I do like how this ended, how Ming-Chen isn't able to give proper forgiveness to those who cursed her on the island and really left her to be unmourned. But it's time that everyone just moves on. But I do have to say, I am also curious if that includes the cat, because Ming-Chen, as a little girl, had this cat that she loved, and the villagers, angry with her for thinking she's cursed, killed the cat, and the cat spirit has been with Ming-Chen this entire time. I'm curious if the cat was also able to move on, or if it's still lingering around Hong Kong. But yeah, overall 4 stars. And I think I'll mention the book I'll read next tomorrow, as for some reason I'm just feeling quite a bit tired, so yeah, I think that's all for now. So it's the next day, and as you saw, I did go out today. There were a couple of tag sales happening in the town next to me, and I did get some stuff from the second tag sale. I didn't film those because I was in the mood, and also I just wanted to pay attention to what was around me, and yeah. But at the second tag sale, which was like for some German American club that's in the town next to me. I found this one from this tag sale in like a local newspaper, and so yeah. But I did get these two little plates. I just thought the pictures on them were quite pretty, and I plan to use them as like coasters for the table next to me. And for both of them I just paid $1. And I also got this cool little box, which I just think is quite pretty. I don't know what this is going to be used for. It's just some personal stuff I have lying about, so yeah. And I did do more of my grocery shopping. I swear I really need to start doing what I want to do and try and clean my lifestyle, but again, too much of a routine now, and excuses. And I did do some reading. The book I started, the dust jacket for this is upstairs in my bedroom, is Blood on Her Tongue by Joanna Van Veen. And this is about the Netherlands, 1887. Lucy's twin sister Sarah's unwell. She refuses to eat, mumbles nonsensically, and is increasingly obsessed with a centuries-old corpse, recently discovered on her husband's Wednesday. The doctors has diagnosed her as temporary insanity caused by a fever of the brain. To protect her sister from a terrible fate in a lunatic asylum, Lucy must unravel the mystery surrounding her sister's condition, but it's clear her twin is hiding something. Then again, Lucy's harboring secrets of her own too. Then the worst happens. Sarah's behavior takes a turn for the strange. She becomes angry and hungry. Lucy soon comes to suspect that something is trying to possess her beloved sister, or is it madness? As Sarah changes before her eyes, Lucy must reckon with the dark, monstrous truth, or risk losing her forever. And with this, I am on page 54, and I'm definitely intrigued. We do see how close Sarah and Lucy are, how it seems like there's two extremely close sisters who have a great relationship. They are always there for one another. And it seems like with Sarah, this isn't the first time she's gone through something similar where her mind, I don't know, it seems like she can't really trust her mind, and that frightens her. Like, I'm intrigued on that, but it seems like the first time was related to the death of a daughter she had, who she named, I guess after Lucy, as her name was Sarah, who died from the scarlet fever. So I am curious in seeing like Sarah's, I guess, first episode, but yeah. And we see how Sarah is writing to Lucy, and we get what happened at the estate through these letters. How the workers found this dead woman in a bog, and not dead woman, they don't know what gender this woman is, as there's no parts to really say like what her gender is. But Sarah just says she, like she can feel it. It's she for some reason. But the way the body was discovered has frightened the workers, because there was like a stone in the mouth and the body was taken down, making anything like. It was a body that was buried as a form of punishment for murder or like execution, or it was a suicide of sorts. So there's a lot of unknown about this body and how long it's been in the book. It seems like it's been there for a century, and it's quite a well preserved body. The one weird thing about the body is there are no organs. Like Sarah's husband is friends with this doctor, and he has another doctor who can perform autopsies, and they perform an autopsy. Sarah's there to help out, and yeah, a lot of unexplained things about this body just coming to fruition. It's the sense like there's no organs, and the brain's like something up, and I'm not sure if it's like because of how long the body's been gone, but or been buried in the bog or what, but I'm intrigued about it. And you see how Sarah, she goes from the letters to being quite frightened and unsettled, I would say, about this body, to when we actually meet her to be quite sick with something. And she is quite far gone. Like, she is the beginning of, I would say, her change, as she does bite her friend's arm, the friend who's the doctor, and it almost starts sucking at me like a vampire trying to suck blood. Like, it's all quite weird and quite, I don't know. I am quite interested in seeing where this goes and why Sarah feels like she cannot really trust her mind, and what happened the last time she was quite so sick. So yeah, when I'm just a lot of intrigue. But with that, as it is Saturday, that also means it's the end of this video. So if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below, tell me what you've been up to recently. If you want to, please subscribe to this channel, and if you want to follow me on any social media, then all those links are in the down bar below. I will see you guys next time I post a video. Bye.